Hey everyone, Felipe here. Welcome to another Tower of Saviors card review video. In this video, I'll be taking a look at one of the jackpot cards from the Saint Seiya Hades chapter collaboration seal. I'll be looking at the final bronze of cloth of Phoenix Ikki, which is a fire human, and I will be looking at the leader skill, team skills, as well as the active skills and giving you my opinions and thoughts about this card. So without further ado, let's take a look at his leader skill. When the team has only fire members, dark members, or saints, or Athena, goddess of war and wisdom, team attack increases by 6.5 times, HP and recovery by 1.5 times. Additionally, runestone movement time increases by 2 seconds. Fire, dark, and heart runes also possess 50% the effect of other runes, and if 2 out of the 3 types of runestones out of fire, dark, and heart are dissolved in the same round, your team attack increases by a further 4.5 times additionally. But yeah, let's take a look at the team skill just so we can see how it complements the leader skill. You do get the Saint Seiya Hades chapter special, which is going to be the 8th sense, which in my opinion is going to be a pretty decent craft skill. So that is a pretty good team skill just from the get-go. But his gameplay team skills are as follows. When team HP is full, the damage received will not lead to your defeat. Different effects will be triggered according to the amount of HP you have before your attack. At full HP, you launch your entire team gets a 4 times attack boost. Between 10% and 59% HP, Ikki, either Final Bronze Cloth or God Cloth, will launch 2 extra attacks as much as 4 times its own attack regardless of defense. And if you have less than 9% HP, less than or equal than 9% HP, your team attack increases by 4 times, recovery increases by 2 times, and Ikki, either the final Bronze Cloth or the God Cloth, Ikki will also launch 2 extra attacks regardless of defense, and at the end of the round, turn all runestones into enchanted runes. Then you do have the stat boosting team skill when you run all 5 Seiya, Hyoga, Shiryu, Ikki, or Shun, which means that you will get a ×2 attack, recovery, and HP boost if you have them, and then your runestone movement time increases to 12 seconds. So this one's a little bit more situational, just because you do need to run all 5 members, which will limit your team building capabilities, and if you want to substitute any utility cards, then you would have to sacrifice this team skill. However, his main gameplay style will be the HP requirements, which I think it is pretty cool that you do have a tumbler skill, because he is a phoenix. Phoenixes don't really die. But this also allows you to survive attacks on 1 HP and allow you to hit this less than 9% HP team skill really easily, which gives you a 4 times team attack boost, recovery boost, as well as launching extra attacks. But yeah, so in terms of his leader skill, I think 6.5 times a damage multiplier is pretty good, and if you are able to dissolve 2 out of the 3 types of runes in the same round, you do also get a 4.5 attack boost and an additional 4 times attack boost from the team skill, which means that as a leader, Ikki does have a pretty decent attack multiplier inbuilt in him and will deal decent amounts of damage to the enemies. His playstyle will be a little bit, is not that bad, since you only have to dissolve 2 out of 3 types of runestones. So even if the enemy has a Trojan or combo nullifying skill, like a fire combo nullifying skill, you can still dissolve dark and heart runes and still benefit from the 4.5 attack boost. Further, additionally, or on the other hand, if there's like a dark block where you cannot dissolve dark runes, then you can dissolve fire and heart runes and still benefit from this attack boost. Keep in mind that this also doesn't say first batch, so sky drops also count towards this fourth effect. So hitting this 4.5 attack multiplier will not be that hard. And then you do get a 6.5, and depending on your HP requirements, you will launch even beefier attacks, in my opinion. So as a leader, I do think he does have really good leader potential and has the potential to beat a lot of the end game content. So as a leader, definitely worth getting him if you don't have a fire leader as of now. That being said, if you did pull Nocturne and you already have a fire leader, or if you have let's see, yeah, if you already have good fire leaders, then this might not be a particularly necessary card, but if you lack on fire leaders, then he is definitely going to be a pretty good leader in the current meta. Keep in mind that he also has the ability to slot in more members. So unlike the other Saint Seiyas, where a lot of their boosts are only applied to Saint series, he does not have those restrictions, and you can run any Fire member, Dark member, or any Saints. So they don't only a lot of the Saint Seiya only requires you humans in the team, but keep in mind Ikki does not have that requirement, so your card pool for team building is going to be more expensive or more versatile and flexible. Yeah, let's take a look at the active skills now. His first active skill is going to be a CD5 skill. Skill can be activated at the expense of 49% HP and bottom out at 1%, at 1. This skill cannot be activated at 1 HP, which makes sense because there's nothing to deduct from there. The first effect is to tap 2 columns and will turn them into enchanted runes of the character's attribute. So if you tap Ikki's column, it will be fire attribute. If you tap Shun's column, it will be dark attribute. For 2 rounds, the first batch of runestones to be dropped below Ikki will be enchanted fire human runes, and the first batch of runestones to be dropped below Shun will be enchanted human heart runes. So overall, this is going to be a pretty good skill. You get to explode. Actually, no, you don't explode. So actually, this skill is less useful than I thought because you only tap and turn 2 columns, and this will give you attacking runes and more sky drop, but it will be blocked by conversion blocks, and it won't necessarily get rid of any board debuffs, especially since you're only transforming 2 columns. The good thing about it is it is going to be a CD5 cooldown because that is pretty short, which means you can activate it more often. However, you are sacrificing 49% of your total HP, which means that if you're at full HP, you will go down to the 10 to 59% range, which you only get the extra attacks for Ikki, and that is going to be 2 extra attacks as much as 4 times of its own attack, which overall it might be less than a full times 4 team attack. However, if you're running more than 1 Ikki in your team, like for example 2 Ikkis, leader, ally, and 1 more, so 3 in total, that means that each Ikki will be launching an extra attack, and that is going to be a significant chunk of damage. Which leads me to that point where Ikki does benefit from multiple copies, just because a lot of his active skills and team skills do name him specifically for those effects. So if you had more than 2 Ikkis in the team, you will get even more sky drop from this first active skill. Yeah. For the second active skill, we do have the switching skill, which is CD8, pretty standard for all switching skills. Keep in mind you can only activate it if you have the Dragon Phoenix or the Phoenix Godcloth Dragon Wear. So here you will switch, fully recover HP, and explode the column below every fire members to generate enchanted fire runes. Additionally, if Ikki is the leader, your craft apparatus gets charged by 50%, which is pretty good. It will allow you to charge your 8 cents faster. But honestly, it's a bonus. Fully recovering HP can be beneficial, and exploding the column below fire members to generate enchanted fires is also going to be good because it can potentially help you break certain board debuffs or get rid of annoying runestones on the board. But yeah, overall, I do think this switching skill is pretty tame. I would just use it to switch. I don't think there's going to be any stage where you will rely on the switching skill to break any enemy shields. So definitely just use it to switch whenever you're ready to benefit from Ikki's switched form. So now let's take a look at the switched form. This GNN actually is a little bit incorrect. The team attack actually increases to times 7 based on the game UI. And the team attack here is also at 4.5. So just ignore these two numbers. Basically, the team skill The leader skill just increases by 7 times, and then the rest stays the same as his pre-switch form, which means that you do get a slight attack boost, not significant, but it is a slight attack boost after you switch. In terms of active skills, his first EP skill will be a straight up upgrade from his original active skill. It does get a little bit more expensive to EP6 rather than CD5. However, you now get to tap and explode 3 columns instead of just turning them or just converting them, which this is really good because it will bypass conversion blocks and allow you to remove um, more runes on the board rather than like converting them away. Additionally, for 3 rounds, you do get the sky drop options for Ikki and Shun, and this goes from 2 rounds to 3 rounds. So this is going to be a straight up upgrade from his first active skill. And again, if you have multiple copies of Shun and Ikki, you will benefit from more of this sky drop as well. For his second EP skill, this is going to be an EP8 skill. Explode weather runes and petrify runes. Deal a non-attributive damage of 100 times your basic attack value to all enemies, and for 2 rounds the enemies attack themselves or each other once. So basically this will allow you to get rid of weather runestones and petrify runes, which is not bad. It is actually pretty useful, but could be potentially very situational depending on the enemies that you find. Additionally, the uh, snipes are usually very deceptive on terms of like 100 times attack basic value because a lot of enemies nowadays have like millions, billions health. So this doesn't really make a dent in those enemies because basically your attack basic value for a human it is at most 4,000. If you multiply that by 100, that is going to be like 400,000, which like if you're dealing with an enemy that has a million HP, it's not that much. However, it is good to break invisible shields or stealth shields, but EP8 just for a snipe is not that great. So basically this is just think of this second effect as a bonus. Then the main effect is going to be the 2 rounds of controlling skills. Attacking themselves or each other once will prevent you from getting hit by those attacks, and it also avoids phantom enemies that ignore defensive skills. Especially because Ikki has the tumbler skill, phantom enemies will ignore the tumbler skill and kill you regardless. But if they attack themselves, then you can still survive their attacks, and the enemy will not be able to kill you. So yeah, I do think his active skills are going to be pretty good, especially post switch. Exploding the weather runes and petrify runes, the snipe, as well as the controlling skill, they're all pretty useful. So overall, I do think Ikki is a decent leader. He will struggle a little bit with breaking shields, like annoying enemy shields, like I don't know, initial shield, puzzle shields, etc. So he will be relying a lot on the team members that you bring in order to break those shields. None of his team skills really, leader skills and team skills help you break those things. You can break defense, but you can't really break any other annoying shields from enemies. So definitely he will be relying a lot on the team members that you bring. That being said, he is pretty decent as a leader. He will be able to clear a lot of endgame content using his skills. He does have all the fire and dark card pools for members. Um, to use as members, as well as the Saints and Athena. So you can use all your Saint Seiya teams and also all your Fire and Dark inventory for building his team. He does also have a tumbler, so survivability is actually pretty good. Um, unless you encounter a phantom enemy that will kill you in one shot. But yeah, overall, I do think Ikki is pretty decent. His active skills are good. Leader potential is good as well. But he will struggle a little bit in terms of breaking annoying shields that Madhit has been introducing recently. Yeah, that is all I had to say about this card. Actually, one last thing. Do I recommend pulling this card? Maybe. If you don't have any fire leaders, then this could be a good option for you. However, think, like I said before, I think this collaboration seal is a little bit on the underwhelming side. It is not broken like most collaboration seals that we've seen in the past. Um, like they are good leaders, don't get me wrong. However, I don't see them lasting for too long in the meta. They're very honest, so they're not very broken. So I would get them if you lack the leaders, or if you have extra diamonds to spend, I would pull for them. Especially for Ikki, you do benefit from getting more than one copy. So if you get lucky, you can pull for two, but if not, just one is enough, in my opinion. But yeah, so in conclusion, do I recommend to pull for him? Only if you want. It is not an absolute must pull, in my opinion. For that matter, this series is not a must pull for me. But if you have the diamonds or if you need the leaders, this series is actually pretty okay, pretty decent in terms of member skills and member active skills that you can get from even non-jackpot cards. But yeah, that's all I had to say about this card. Please let me know in the comments if I missed anything or if I said anything wrong. And as always, stay tuned on my YouTube channel for more Tower of Saviors content. For now, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone!